Your morning commute typically takes 25 minutes. If a 400 cubic foot dairy truck spills 2% milk on the freeway, causing you to take a detour and get stuck at a drawbridge for 20 minutes, how late will you be? Don't know? Well, good news, you don't have to, because Waze knows. With real-time traffic alerts from real Waze users, your ETA is always up to date. Waze. Download and drive today.
Introducing new Power Bites, a tasty breakfast bite of real sausage, egg, and cheese you can eat anywhere, like listening to the Morning Zoo.
It's 8:03 and this is Crazy Larry's Morning Zoo Talk.
Or not. New Smithfield Power Bites. Eat what you love wherever you are.
What's going on? You are tuned into the Cigars with Mac podcast. First and foremost, let me say good morning to everyone listening. Today I want to talk about old money versus new money. Now, this was inspired by the episode I did yesterday, titled 9 to 5 Brother. Inspired by the 9 to 5 Brother, because on that podcast I actually talked about the entertainer by the name of B. Simone, and it's apparent that Mrs. Simone is what you would term as new money. I don't know, I'm pretty sure you've heard that term, but I know a friend of mine, I explained it to him one day. He didn't quite understand what the term meant. We're gonna get into it. Let me go over a couple news events. We have here, and my source today is the Wall Street Journal. In fact, that's one of my favorite sources. I have right here, Amazon practices face probe in California. Says here, state investigators are examining Amazon.com's business practices as part of an inquiry into the tech giant, according to the people familiar with the matter. Interesting. Very, very interesting. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Hertz, the rental car company, but it says here that Hertz can tap market frenzy to sell potentially worthless stock. Judge clears company's plan to sell up to $1 billion in shares to capitalize on a market rally despite significant risk of a wipeout for shareholders. What happened was that Hertz Global Holdings Incorporated won a bankruptcy judge's approval to raise up to $1 billion in new equity from a counterintuitive stock rally, a seemingly unprecedented move for a large bankrupt company eager to capitalize on market anomalies. Damn, they got her name here too. Judge Mary Walworth of the U.S. Bankruptcy Court in Wilmington, Delaware, authorized Hertz to seize the opportunity to raise money from a stock market that has shown strong interest in the company's shares despite its severe financial strain. Brain fart. With the U.S. securities regulators watching, the judge said in a hearing held remotely that Hertz can ask the public to buy shares, supplying money the company needs for its restructuring efforts and won't have to pay back. Hertz lawyer Thomas Laria acknowledged in court the company's shares might ultimately be worthless, although it's impossible to know this as a point of certainty. As long as the public markets are informed of the risk, Hertz is in compliance with securities laws, he said. So basically what you have here is a worthless ass company right now getting ready to start selling shares. That's crazy, man. Now, I don't know if anybody here like myself invest in the stock market, but I wouldn't really buy that stock right now. Or if I did buy it, it'd have to be extremely low. So, and right now the market is real volatile. So, what do you expect? But what I find interesting is that this is public information, and so if people feel like they're getting duped 5-10 years from now, you really can't get mad because it's public, so take that into consideration. I know a friend of mine, she and I talk about stocks a lot, and she made a good point, and it's something that I learned from watching a YouTube video where this gentleman was saying, he was talking about basically don't put your money in a savings account because it's not really gaining any significant interest anyway. I just got an email from Ally Bank, and they said that basically the interest rate they have now is going to drop. So again, people, you cannot get mad if these companies are telling you what they're doing and then you feel like you're getting duped. You're not getting duped because publicly they have to let you know their every move, damn near pretty much. And especially, if you consider yourself an investor, a smart investor, you got to pay attention to things like that. Yeah, you got to pay attention to things like that. Because at the end of the day, you have to be pretty much accountable for yourself as far as investing goes. Now, one particular stock that I've learned about 4 years ago is called AbbVie. AbbVie, AbbVie. Well, I just bought some shares with them, And, you know, when I bought at the time, I really wasn't as knowledgeable as I am now. I believe I bought one or two shares at the time. And anyway, they were like $60 now. And now, let me get it accurate. I want to be accurate with it. I'm going to tell you where AbbVie is at now. I'm going to tell you right now where AbbVie is at. Currently, today, AbbVie is at $92.46 a share. And they're known for having, they have dividend payouts. But what I do is I actually reinvest my dividends. I don't even, because what you can do is you can get with the dividend, you can get a check. It's usually paid out quarterly sometimes, for the most part. Or monthly, you know. And one of the reasons why people say it's smart to invest your money in the stocks is because pretty much your money is making money, essentially. And your money can also lose money, which is also a risk. So you got to take that into consideration, and you really can't be scared to lose money. I've even heard one guy say that the stocks is for rich people. I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. I think the stocks can help you get rich and wealthy with proper managing and just longevity, really, man. But for instance, if you're not really clear as to how you would basically restructure your savings as instead of putting your money in a savings account, put it in the stock market. What you would do basically is research a stock that you want to buy or whatever. So if that stock is about, let's say, $20 a share, and your goal every month is to set aside $500, basically, and especially if that stock is remaining at that price, that steady price range for a while. What you want to do is basically, if you save $500 a month, and the stock is $20 a share, so you would basically buy 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 5, 10. So basically, you would buy 20 shares a month. That's what people mean when they say just reinvest your money in the stocks. So instead of putting your money in the savings account, put it in the stock market. That's all that means. Or if you set aside $1,000 a month, if a stock is $1,000 a share, you can just buy a share a month. I wouldn't do that personally. Me, I wouldn't. That's just me though. I'm not a financial advisor by any means, but I'm just giving you my humble opinion about how I would do it and how I do it now. So that's how I feel. And if you got any questions, you can just email me at info@cigarswithmacpod.com. That's info@cigarsmacpod.com. What we have here. Saw this blog right here. This blog was written last year, March 2019, and it's called Understanding New Money and Old Money. It says the typical trends of old money is this money tends to be kept in the family. People with old money tend to invest in long-lasting material goods like stocks, artwork, real estate, things of that nature. That's just a few things. Spending habits are steeped in tradition, prone to planning rather than spontaneity, being spontaneous, and they're very frugal. And it says new money habits They tend to spend more freely. They view money versus theirs. They view money as theirs versus generational. They're very flashy, very lavish, and they enjoy networking with other people. That's interesting. So you would consider like an NBA player new money, a rapper new money, you know, because most times they're first generational wealthy or rich people. That's what you would consider new money. And I'm going to go deeper into that, but I'm just kind of going over a few articles, you know, putting some credibility behind my opinion. Even though it's an opinion, but sometimes it's good to hear other people's opinions on subject matters. And really, this show, man, was really inspired by the B. Simone scuffle that's going on now, man. I mean, a lot of people are mad, you know. I wouldn't necessarily say mad, but a lot of people are disenchanted with her views now. And for the life of me, I don't know why this woman does not have a PR person helping her. Because they would have informed her, don't ever insult your audience. That was the worst thing she could have done, man. In my opinion now. I saw an IG post where one of her colleagues told her basically she shouldn't have told people how much money she made. And I agree with that, man. She shouldn't have done that. I know I wouldn't have done that shit. It wasn't a very smart move on her end, man. It really was not a smart move. You know, I think that wasn't that. You know, and she is what I would consider new money. I don't know if I said that earlier, but she's what I would consider new money, because she's probably a first generation millionaire, if she really is a millionaire. Someone should have been in her corner telling her not to do that shit. I would have never done that, man. I just really feel like, damn, she fucked up. She really fucked up. Let me take a brief break real fast. I need to fill up my cigar lighter real quick, so y'all hold on real fast. I'm gonna take a brief break. one of the keys to, or one of the tools of being a cigar smoker is having a good lighter, a torch. You gotta have your good torch, man. Or you gotta have a good lighter. I use a torch. But this is a cigar, man. It's a freaking leaf, basically. I also like using natural lighting also. So a lot of times, I don't know if y'all pay attention, but when I'm doing these podcasts, you hear like a sound, a windy noise in the back. It's usually me relighting my stick, my cigar. So that's what that is. But yeah, this B. Simone controversy has really got the internet in an uproar. Let you hear that torch. Here you go, right here. Yeah. This story really has the internet in an uproar. People are really, men and women, not just men, but people are like really like, wow. But you got to understand that Miss Simone is new money. So whenever you hear the term new money, that just means people that started from scratch, man. Started from scratch. That money was not passed down. That money was earned by the sweat of their brow, A lot of time when you see these rappers and entertainers in these flashy cars, that's one tell sign that that's new money. The reason why, man, I grew up somewhat, not really rich. I wasn't really poor either. I mean, I went through tough times. It was a period in my life as a teenager that was really, it was really tough, But for the most part, I didn't really grow up just dirt poor. But a lot of times, man, when you come from impoverished backgrounds and you get a little money, man, I mean, it just feels good to buy those things you always wanted, man. I remember in the military, man, my first real job, I remember a lot of brothers, man, they'd be at the PX, man, buying new Jordans and doing on the shopping spree, man, because they finally got money. They can buy what they really want, and I understood, No one really taught me personally, or probably those individuals also, about frugality and delayed gratification, which means, you understand if I put away now, I can splurge later. That's all delayed gratification means, And whenever you see not just rappers, but just average, everyday, ordinary people, they got a good job, they decide to go out and buy, a luxury car or whatnot, I mean, that's just, if you never been through poverty, man, you it sucks. So when you finally can rub two nickels together and you can, buy you some Jordans, buy you some Gucci, buy you some Prada, and things of that nature, buy you a Rolex watch, man, it feels good. You know, I'm not one to tell people what they should and should not buy. It's not my place. But I understand. I can understand why a kid who has a scholarship to a top 10 university, Division I school, you know, they get they go to college, then they get out of college and they get drafted in the NFL, they got or the NBA, and they have a big million some dollar contract. I can understand why they go and buy those lavish things. I understand that. I get that, man. I understand that. I understand why they buy the big mansion. You know, like Mike Tyson had, you know, a huge mansion. You know, Mike Tyson grew up poor, man. I get it. Hell, even Shaq said when he got his check, he spent a lot of money in one day. I can't remember the exact number. I need to go back and watch the video, but luckily he knew I want to say the president of the bank personally called him and informed him of his spending habits, but he also put the right people around him to show him how to understand the value of a dollar, because that man did not want to see Shaq broke. He didn't want to see that. So you got to understand, whenever, you know, a lot of celebrities or even everyday people, you know, that were once well off, then they end up being broke. You got to understand, man, the mentality. You got to understand that behavior behind that. Not saying it's not their fault, but again, if you grew up, man, you didn't have nothing, man, it feels good to rub 2 pennies together. It feels good to go to Papa Do's and Ruth Chris, and hell, I could even remember when I first got married. You know, my wife and I would, you know, save our little money and go to Red Lobster. To us, Red Lobster was an A1 restaurant. You know, a lot of older generations, Red Lobster was a top restaurant, believe it or not. Nowadays, it's really not anymore. I actually put Red Lobster in the same category with Chili's and Applebee's and Waffle House. I just do. But I remember those days, man. I remember those days. So I understand why a person would do that. I know everybody's heard of the baby product Johnson & Johnson soap, you know. And of course they make other things other than baby soap. But I was watching a documentary on one of the heirs. You know, he had a bit of guilt because he was so wealthy and, you know, things of that nature. You know, you can watch the documentary on him. Now, he is what you would term as old money, because he came from money. Unfortunately, I know people hate to say never, but Johnson & Johnson will never go away. The Johnson & Johnson heirs will never be broke. It's not happening. It's just not gonna happen, people. Kind of like Walmart, Sam Walton. He may have been new money when he started Walmart, but now I would consider that old money, because Hell, his grandkids getting paid. They will never be broke. They don't have to worry about anything. For them to be broke, man, they gotta be, I mean, there has to be some mental, somebody gotta fuck up at the board. And that's not gonna happen. Walmart will always be around. People will always spend money at Walmart. It's never going anywhere. Now, Amazon, Jeff Bezos, even though he's the richest man in the world, he's actually what you would term as new money. In my opinion. But in the next 100 years, shit, Amazon, the heirs of Amazon will be old money. Because again, like Walmart, Amazon is going nowhere. It's never going anywhere. It's going to always be here. This is what it is. That's just what it is, man. So, my opinion, I feel, off of just the articles that I read to everybody, the way to become old money is to pass that wealth down, keep that wealth in the family, and continue to grow that wealth. Then you can essentially term yourself as old money. That's what it is. I mean, I met a guy who was pretty wealthy, older man too. He was what I would call old money. And this guy was cheap as fuck, man. He was very frugal. I don't think he walked around with a debit card. I think he only had cash on him. And one of the reasons he did that, because with the cash, you only spend what you have, which is actually a smart money thing. I mean, it's genius. You can only spend what you have. Even though we're pretty much going to a cashless society, there are some people that still use those age-old methods. Hell, one of our former presidents, George Bush, the son, he's what you would call old money. Hell, our current president, Donald Trump. So, when you see people in society, people that you personally know that, you thought, hey, I thought they were rich, or hey, they're broke now. 9 times out of 10, they would be what you consider new money. And that's just what you would call that, And I don't knock people, man, when they have fallen. You notice Walmart hasn't made any crazy statements about black folks. They're not gonna do that. That's called wisdom. They have the common sense to keep their personal opinions to themselves. And you would think, hey, they're rich, they can say what they want to say. Nah, it doesn't work like that, people. Simply does not work like that. We just can't, at least publicly, That's something people gotta understand with social media. You have to really be careful with your words, man, because one bad day and you decide to go around on the internet can fuck up your whole empire. Because we live in a customer-based, customer-driven society. So no matter what industry you're in, you have to have great customer service skills. Even if you work as our good friend B. Simone said, a 9-to-5 job, you still have customers in your workplace. They be termed as internal customers, and then you have those that buy your company's product, which will be external customers. So that's how I feel about that. I mean, when you look at the world today, after this COVID-19 pandemic, man, the world is changing, people. The world is changing, man. And you got to change with the world. I mean, you just do. What worked in 2010 won't necessarily work in 2020. What worked in 2019 won't work in 2020. The world is ever evolving. And sometimes change is good. It's uncomfortable, but it's good. I can admit that. You know, I don't think we all are a fan of changing. I know I'm not. But I've done it a lot. Because it's necessary. It's necessary, you know. So whenever you hear celebrities go on their social media platforms and make comments about people working an ordinary job or 9-to-5, they have to be careful with that. I mean, I even heard that people are canceling this young lady now. I mean, her career depends on people buying her products. That's just what it is. Nobody is exempt from customer service. And with social media, you have the opportunity as a business owner to actually interact with your customer base or with the celebrity, their so-called fans. And all fans means is fanatic. Not necessarily a bad thing, but that's what fans mean. So that's why I don't really use that word. But you got to be real careful, man. Like I said, one of her comedic colleagues kind of told her, you know, you know, I understand what you're saying, but you fucked up. You fucked up on this one. That's the reason why a lot of times people, when they, for instance, one of the things I heard Wendy Williams say was she would never give out her personal information about herself for free. She makes you buy the book so you can know her business. Smart business move. And the thing about, you know, entertainment, man, those people go through phases of popularity, and then they may be hot for 4 or 5 years. The next thing you know, you don't hear about them anymore. And that correlates back to the title of the podcast, New Money versus Old Money. Old money ain't going nowhere, people. They're That's just the way it is, man. Old money isn't going anywhere. Old money can be passed down from generation to generation to generation to generation. I even worked with a gentleman, and I was telling him my plans of setting my sons up for success. And this man told me it's not my job to do that. Pretty much they got to create their own thing. And I was like, how selfish. This guy, he married a woman that was pretty much well off. I didn't understand the selfishness behind it. Man, people are some mysterious creatures, man. Why would you say that, you know? I guess he felt like because he had to start from scratch, his child should have to start from scratch also. That's crazy, man. Do you know how much sooner a lot of us could have reached a high financial pinnacle if we got wealth passed down? It makes a difference. I remember a woman I knew, she was bragging about how her daughter, you know, was a young homeowner. And basically, you know, she was telling me her daughter's story. Pretty much her daughter started from scratch. As a parent, you shouldn't have been proud of that because you were not influential on that matter. She had to start from scratch. I would believe that the majority of parents want to set their kids up for success. And the thing about it, you're not crippling your kids by doing that. You're actually giving them a leg up and really just teaching them financial literacy. For instance, giving your kids an allowance teaches them to work for what they want. I remember one day my son saved up his money and we went to I think Walmart, and he wanted this toy. And I had the conversation with him at home. I said, now, do you want this toy or do you need it? He said, I want it. So then we got to the store and I showed him, I said, well, I tell you what, the toy that you want costs this amount. Why not get 2 toys for the price that you would pay for 1 toy? And he saw the logic of that and he bought the 2 toys. You know, of course, he's a kid. I'm going to let him play with toys, but I want to go ahead and ingrain in him now, is this what you want or is it what you need? Or you can save up this amount of money and then get a better toy. Just my opinion, you know. But anyway, I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Peace.
All the last-minute gifts are on sale at Gap Factory and GapFactory.com. Get 60% off almost everything. Shop new doorbusters, including gifts from $7, socks from $2, tees from $8, and more. Find it all at Gap Factory or GapFactory.com through December 24th. Cozy up for the holidays with 60% off everything at Banana Republic Factory, including soft sweaters, comfy pajamas, must-have gifts, and more from $9.99. Find your nearest store now, only at Banana Republic Factory.
Antes creía que no importaba manejar después de fumar marihuana.
¿Aló?
Creía que nadie lo notaría porque podía manejar bien. Mamá, soy Luis, me acaban de arrestar.
¿Por qué? ¿Qué pasó?
No solo me arrestaron, perdí mi licencia de conducir, mi trabajo, mi orgullo y causé un gran dolor. Antes creía que no importaba manejar después de fumar marihuana, pero eso era antes. Hoy, ya no.
Si te sientes diferente, manejas diferente.
Drive high, get a DUI.
Mensaje de Nissan.